So Oz Perkins just came out with another horror movie.
Tell me the fairy tale again.
She's scary.
The three movies he's directed have been real favorites of mine, and remind me of Stanley Kubrick. Osgood is truly a master of the eerie. In The Black Coat's Daughter, we see the story of two young girls who are stuck at a school with just two other nuns. The sense of deprivation seems a key element to the way he directs. From the silence,
When do we leave?
What's your hurry?
to the fact that there feels to be missing jump scares. Truly a master of silence with his recent movie Gretel and Hansel. I feel that he was trying for a bit of a different audience in this one, so he added a few more jump scares.
Ouch!
But still has somewhat of the eerie element to it. In the beginning we see the character in a black hat, and I love the fact that the portrayal he has of the devil in The Black Coat's Daughter and in this one is just like this black, blurry, indistinct figure with just a horn or something like a hat. And the fact that he refuses to show the face of this oppressor just adds to the element of eeriness, since he does not feel obligated to give you an answer. So you may leave with more questions than answers. Unlike something like Insidious with Darth Maul. In the I am the pretty thing that lives in the house, we get the main character questioning her reality, like the horror version of Stranger Than Fiction.
Shut up!
Cursing the heavens in futility.
No, I'm not. I'm cursing you, you stupid boy, so shut up and leave me alone!
The figure in the beginning with the black hat is also reminiscent of Jodorowsky's Holy Mountain, as well as the black triangle just lingering. Most directors, like Wes Anderson or David Lynch, use the stronger, more colorful elements that Jodorowsky uses, whereas the exaggeration or absurdness has no place with Osgood Perkins, since he tends to use more of the esoteric statements, like the fact that the settings are despondent or deprived of any real character, so the screen almost feels empty. Or I can describe some images Wes Anderson uses, like high modernism, in relation to architectural theory that is. I'm reminded that of the statement Jodorowsky uses in his book, where he says his friend Fierro states, "These are obsidian mirrors. Always look at yourself in an obsidian mirror, because it is made of a single material. Don't look at yourself in an ordinary mirror, because behind the glass there's a sheet of mercury." It's a duality. So when I'm watching movies that are directed like this, I almost feel that mirror-like component, like I'm watching myself watch a movie.
It is a film. Zumba camera. We are images.
A strange outer body experience may be a bit exaggerated, but if you truly allow yourself to become immersed in something like The Black Coat's Daughter, you'll understand what I'm saying. The thing I did not like about Hansel and Gretel though, or rather Gretel and Hansel,
This is your power.
was that it felt the need to use a lot more jump scares than he normally used in the other two films, where I don't think it needed to. This movie is definitely worth a watch. Spoilers though. So in the movie, Hansel and Gretel are two kids whose father's not around, and Gretel decides to get a job, only to be asked if she could pretty much be a prostitute. Well, sort of. The man implies that he wants her to be a virgin, and she doesn't take that quote-unquote job. They go home, and the mom tells them they should leave or start digging their own graves. So they leave. We see throughout the movie that Gretel talks to inanimate things, like mushrooms. I presumed it to be a childish fantasy, but it plays itself out better when we find that Gretel has these lucid dreams and is said to be a witch. Once they find themselves in the witch's home, they eat of the buffet that the witch has. I actually don't remember the word witch being used in the movie, but it's one of those things I admired about this kind of style of writing. A lot of implications, nothing seemed in your face, and felt almost jumbled, like a puzzle you kind of wanted to solve. In the movie there's also this shed that the witch has, and it feels like this black box on the screen, but the box is so dark that it feels as though we are looking at a void in the screen. A lot of symbolism ran throughout the movie, and that's what really caught my attention. It reminded me that this movie was written and directed by an almost esoteric hand. I rather enjoyed the hexagons in the door that shaped themselves out into an alchemy star, or the 8-pointed star on the quilts, which offers up a significance of baptism, like the rebirth of Gretel into a witch, or the menorah-looking candle set up in the basement of the house. And in the end we find that the food they've been eating was just human meat transformed into pies, cakes, and other meats. So the object transformation from one to the next, like alchemy, or what we know as chemistry, completes itself. The witch then reveals herself to Gretel, telling Gretel that she must relieve herself of her poison that's holding her back from her true power. So she tells Gretel that she must eat Hansel. In this movie, Gretel does outsmart the witch, but really by overpowering her with her powers and burning her in her own fire she was going to cook Hansel in. At the end of the movie, we see the spirits of the children the witch had eaten before, and they are finally at rest. And just as the solace begins to envelope Gretel, her fingers begin to turn black, just like the witch. So we imagine the story goes on, and Gretel is the next lineage of witches. But the movie doesn't give us that cliffhanger ending we get from Avengers or normal horror movies, rather it just kind of ends in black. The ending closes like a book, abruptly, with a cover as heavy as the book end. This movie is definitely worth a watch, and it's just a reminder of a quieter time of cinema. It was not as good as A Black Coat's Daughter, if I'm honest enough. The eeriness is exemplified though, and portrayed beautifully with the lines stated by the witch when she says, "Nothing tastes as sweet as poison."
Look at all these great people we're supposed to admire now. Not that they've invented anything. Steve Jobs, he didn't invent anything. He's just a parasite. Simon Cowell, he doesn't have done anything. He's just a parasite. What are these people good at? They're just good at making money. And that should be enough reward, right? If that's what you want to devote your life to, just fucking do it.